Hello, Lifers. It's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life. And we had another question that came in from Fab T, I believe it was. And the question was, it was a little bit of a commentary, but the gist of the question was Evelyn social when she was 2 and 3? And did she have a speech therapist, an occupational therapist? Evelyn never had occupational therapist or speech therapist. She did seem to be slightly behind in her speech, and we took her to get evaluated with the local district to sort of see if they would provide a speech therapist. I think she was like right on that edge, and they actually said, let's reevaluate her in a year. And it seemed to us like she had made progress enough that she probably wouldn't be qualified for a speech therapist and didn't really need one. And then with social, she was, I would say, over social, like way more. And I don't know what they are. I don't know what a normal range is. She loved, like right now, she's at the park. We're at a park, and the reason why it was easy to get her here is there's other kids. So she's very excited for other kids, and that has been something throughout her life, and even with adults. I have a very vivid memory, and I think I have video somewhere. I have to look because it was a bit random. We were at a park, and there's a walking path, so we were walking on this path, and Evelyn kind of wandered ahead of us next to another daughter and mother, who the daughter was older. The daughter's probably 16 or 17, and Evelyn's like 2 or 3. And Evelyn just walked right up and at some point like put her hand out, and they were like holding hands, and we all laughed and like holding hands with this mom and daughter. And we made jokes about her like leaving our family or whatever. And we never figured out like what it was. Like she just always had, or whenever it would have his therapist come to this, to come to join, she got overly excited just because it was, I shouldn't say overly, extremely excited to see, new people. So she's definitely a people person. She's probably struggling more now than she ever has, only because of, we now have some new neighbor girls since COVID, and, they get along great, but Evelyn has a hard time if she wants to play by herself, the other girl who's actually younger than Evelyn, or if she plays with the other friend somewhere where she can't play, like she feels like they're leaving her, and that like, it just hurts her feelings. So she has a lot of issues around social dynamics right now that we're working on, and just to understand that like, just because she's playing with someone else doesn't mean she doesn't like you, just because she's somewhere else. But she kind of goes really quickly. Like it's one of those things where it's more like a life skill we want to make sure she gets, because it flips on a dime. As soon as they're all playing together, she's fine. And we found that it helps, or at least we feel that it helps a lot with Everett, because Everett has no real interest, but he loves his sister and they're very close. And so I think a lot of him playing with other kids is partially due to the fact that that he is around her. So it kind of gives him those social skills that he needs to kind of understand. He needs a little more help with certain things, and we're working on that. And I kind of want to reach out to maybe a therapist to kind of get some advice. And those are, I guess, to be a little bit more specific, are he has a hard time knowing when to stop joking. Like he'll do a joke. So an example is they're at a park. There's like a merry-go-round where it's like a round thing that people push, and then you push it, and then somebody's usually, or a couple people are on it, on the platform. Merry-go-round, hopefully everyone knows what that is. And Everett would drag his feet, so the child pushing all of a sudden would like have a hard time pushing, right? So it's like, okay, Everett's really into slapstick. The kid didn't think it's funny. No one really thought it's funny except for Everett. That's fine. So then he did it again, and he did it again. And then you could tell the kid was starting to get mad. So I've been trying to push that idea of, don't do the joke more than 3 times. Because he does that too at home. Just, again, he's not necessarily being a bully, but he definitely likes slapstick. So the idea of things falling over, he did with another friend where he kept knocking over this house, and she was like, can you stop? And then he kept doing it, and he was like, I'm not doing it, like that kind of thing. And so it's one of those things where I don't think there's any malintent. He doesn't, I think his pleasure's coming from this idea of like, sort of boggling their mind. So I just need to figure out a way to like refocus them, even though it's obviously him, and maybe magic, because I know he loves doing magic. He just hasn't done it in a while. So maybe I'll get him some magic set, and he can do that instead, or find some alternative things that he can, or learn to do those jokes on himself, which he's totally fine with. I would say he's pretty talented for being an 8-year-old, sort of just joking around. I mean, he's talented, obviously, but talented with slapstick. He does some funny things. So that was a little bit of a long answer. Hope you enjoyed, and appreciate the questions. I think we're going to start doing these questions more. We jump on and just record real fast. So thank you.